Welcome in here, everybody, to the Hutzel Athletic Center. We've got an outstanding matchup to round out our doubleheader. It's the number 14th ranked Grace Lancers sitting at 13-4, 5-2 in conference play. They're going to take on the 12-5 or receiving both St. Francis Cougars, who are 5-2 in the conference play as well. We thank you once again for joining us here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. An exciting matchup here ahead as these two squads both coming off big wins. Or check it, a loss in the last outing for Grace. It was a 1-point loss to Bethel, 75-74. They are sitting ranked, as I mentioned, at number 14 in the NAIA poll that came out today. Ian Scott, who wears number 23, he leads the way here for the Grace Lancers, averaging 17.9 points per game on the season, is the senior out of Plainfield, Indiana. Right behind him, leading with 15.5 points per game, is number 12, and Ian Rosh. Rosh is a sophomore, 6'6", out of Northwood High School, an outstanding player here as well for the Lancers. St. Francis, they come into this one 12-5, 5-2 in conference play, coming off a huge win against Marion on Saturday, 72-57. Luke Almodovar led the way with 18 points. Zane Burke pitched in 16, and Isaiah Malone pitched in 14 there in the win for St. Francis. Before we get going further into our broadcast here this evening, we'd like to send our thoughts and prayers out to the Etherington family. Aaron Etherington, a former player for St. Francis, passed away, and so our thoughts and prayers are out with the Etherington family. So we will go ahead and take a look here at the Crossroads League standings here on the men's side of things, as it is very, very tight atop. As I mentioned, St. Francis and Grace both 5-2, along with Spring Arbor. Bethel sits atop a perfect 7-0. And right behind those three in Bethel, right behind the three in Grace, Spring Arbor, and St. Francis is Taylor, who sits alone at 4-3. Huntington at 3-4. Indiana Wesleyan and Mount Vernon, along with Marion, all at 2-5, and Goshen at 0-7 in conference play. We're going to take one more short break, and we will come back with the starting lineups in game action. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzel Athletic Center, still about 30 seconds away from game action. We will get the starting lineups here for you from the Hut. Should be an outstanding contest, an outstanding crowd here on tap, as the St. Francis women's squad, ranked number 10 in the country, picked up a 30-point victory over Grace earlier on and this evening. So we are going to go ahead and turn it on over here to our PA announcer and Jared Parcell for our pregame prayer, along with the starting lineups. You're watching St. Francis basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Starting lineups here from the Huntsville Athletic Center in the books. It'll be Grace in the all-red unis with the black and white trim. Meanwhile, for St. Francis, they're going to rock the all-gray unis with the blue trim. For Grace, it will be Ian Rosh, Bryson Graber, Ian Scott, Brett Secavus, and Gage Sefton. Meanwhile, for St. Francis, it'll be Brandon Northern, Joe Reedy, Zane Burke, Luke Almodovar, and Isaiah Malone. For St. Francis, it's Isaiah Malone. For Grace, it's Ian Scott in the middle as we have 20 minutes on the board. And we are underway here from the Huntsville Athletic Center. As the Lancers win the tip, they'll have possession here to begin our contest. We'll move it here to the near side as this is going to be Graber. Now on the far end, dribble handoff from Scott. He'll leave it off now up top. Here to the hands of Rush. Now Sefton. Sefton with the drive there on Burke, and he goes up and gets the score. Gage Sefton, Zane Burke, both familiar with one another. Both went to Black Hawk Christian High School here just about 10 minutes from the Huntsville Athletic Center here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So those two, I'm sure, are looking forward to playing against one another here in tonight's contest. The Black Hawk Christian Braves do have a matchup here tonight, which is why their team is not in attendance. And I'm sure if they didn't, they would be here all out for this one. As another Black Hawk Christian Brave for Grace. And number 11, Marcus Davidson, you'll see him come off the bench here for the Lancers tonight, and now their outstanding product. As a three ball from the top of the key there is no good. Northern comes away with it, and he'll now move it up ahead here for St. Francis. It's Burke now with it. Dishes off. They'll skip it here in the corner. Now here to Malone. Malone tries to find a cutting Almodovar down low, and he is fouled. Foul is going to be called on number 12, and Ian Rosh. That's going to be his first, team's first. And so we're going to inbound underneath here for the Cougars. Luke Almodovar will inbound here for St. Francis. He'll get it in all the way up top here into the hands of Isaiah Malone. And now it's Northern with it on the far side. Northern looking to drive, trying to find somewhere to go with it. Able to get it off up top now here to Burke. Burke with the drive, off glass, the touch is no good. Board is knocked down, it's in the hands of Malone, still loose in the air, and the Lancers come away with it. Now up the floor, here on the near side, trying to bounce past there through traffic, and the Cougars take it away. Now it's going to be Almodovar looking to push the break. He'll drive to the cup, dish off there to Reedy. On the deck, couldn't get it to fall, had it knocked away, and now the Lancers will go the other way here with it. As Rosh has it knocked away. This is Almodovar. He'll jam it home. Luke Almodovar raises the roof here early at the hut. Knotted up at 2-all here with 17:55 left to go in our first quarter of action. And so it's the Lancers now here with it on the near side as Graber dishes it off up top. Looking to drive here down low. This is Scott. Scott kicks it back out. It's Graber here near side. Three ball on the way. It's no good. Board is tipped out back to Graber. He'll dish off. Now far side here into the hands of Sefton. The three ball from the top of the key is no good there. Check it. This is Sefton with another offensive board here for the Lancers. Look down low to Rosh. Back far side. Try to get it back down low to him, and it's taken away. And now it's going to be Almodovar who will move it on the far side wing here for the Cougars. Now to Northern with it here near Stott. And Northern going to direct traffic. He'll get a screen here from Reedy. Far side, this is Almodovar from deep. It's no good. And the board comes down, and a foul is going to be called. As my apologies here, folks. My clock did not start. Doing a little double duties here, monitoring the scoreboard clock as well as the scoreboard, and also calling the game. But it's the Lancers here with the basketball. 17 minutes left to go here in our first half. It's Sefton with it on the far side. He's going to look to drive here on Reedy. Double team brought here from Malone. And now kick out far side. It's up top here into the hands of Graber. He'll get a screen. Dish it back out. Now here to Scott. Free throw line jumper on the way, and it's up and good there for Brett Sikafus. Now Northern will have it here on the near side wing for St. Francis. With it at the top of the key now, far side here into the hands of Zane Burke. Burke will leave it off. Down low here to Reedy. Reedy looking to go up here on Sefton. Near side, this is Malone from deep. Got it! Isaiah Malone drains a triple, and he gives St. Francis the 1 point lead. Now Sefton will bring it the other way here for Grace. Scott has it knocked away. This is Almodovar the other way here with it. He'll drive into the defender, and a foul is going to be called. And Luke Almodovar is going to go to the line here to shoot a pair. Foul is going to be called on number 24. And Brett Sikafus, that's going to be his first, team's first. So Luke Almodovar at the line here now to shoot a pair. Almodovar ranks 4th in points per game here in the Crossroads League, averaging 20 points per game here for the Cougars. As I mentioned, had a big outing in their win most recently over Marion on Saturday, where he finished tonight with 18 points. He is an 80% free throw shooter on the season, is the sophomore here from Noblesville, Indiana. He hits them both and makes it a 3-point lead now here for St. Francis. As it'll be Sefton who will bring it up ahead now here for Grace. Now they'll go down low. Sefton, the drive there, and he goes up and gets the score. And Gage Sefton with 4 early points here for the Lancers. Now it's Northern here with it at the top of the key for the Cougars. Dishes it off. Now here into the hands of Zane Burke. Back to Northern here near side, left open. He'll make his defender jump. Kicks here near side, corner 3. Almodovar gets it to fall. Luke Almodovar makes it a 4-point lead now here for the Cougars. The little give and go here on the near side, and a foul is going to be called. And so this will send number 23 and Ian Scott to the free throw line here for Grace. Foul is called. There on Reedy. That's his second. Team second. So Scott, the leader in the points per game category here for Grace, averaging 17.9 points per game on the season. He ranks second in rebounds per game in the Crossroads League as he hits the first free throw. Also ranks second in field goal percentage at a 67%. And so Joe Reedy checks out with the 2 fouls, number 5 and Robert Fry the second on. And Scott at the line here shoots 74% from the line. He hits them both. There does the senior out of Plainfield, Indiana. 15 minutes left to go here in our first. It's Almodovar here on the near side now to Fry. Look down low here to Burke. Puts it on the deck, looking for somewhere to go. He goes up strong, couldn't get it to fall. And the board comes down now to Sefton. And now the Lancers here with it. Sefton with the drive on Malone. Couldn't get it to fall, but gets his own miss. He'll go out to the far side. Now it's up top here to the hands of Graber. Graber back to the near side here to Stolfitz. Sefton dishes it off. Now here to the hands of Rosh. He'll fake the dribble hand off, try to get it down low, and nice defense played there by Malone to take it away. Now this is Fry the second here with it. He looked to drive to the cup. picks up his dribble and now get it behind the back. Here to the hands of Northern. Northern with the drive. Off glass, no good. Malone able to tip it in and use the length for the bucket. 4-point lead here for the Cougs. Scott with it. Just inside the arc. We'll dish it out. Now here on the near side. Peter Stolfus. Back up top. This is Sefton from three. No good at the top of the key. And Fry the second comes away with the board here for the Cougars. He'll push it across the line. Now on this near side, this is Almodovar here with it. Northern look down low here to Malone. Malone looking to body up his defender. He goes up right to the rim and gets the score there for the Cougars. Extends the lead out to 6. I'll swing it all the way around here near side to Rosh. Rosh looking to drive. Oh, it was blocked there by Malone. But before that, a foul is going to be called here on the floor. It's going to be on number 2, and Brandon Northern, and that'll be his first, the team's third. And we are going to go ahead and step away here for a timeout on the floor. 13:25 left to go here in our first half. 14-8 our score. St. Francis with the lead over Grace. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live at the Hutzel Athletic Center here, 13:25 left to go in our first half of action. It'll be free throws here for Grace as number 12 and Ian Rosh going to go to the line here to shoot a pair. The sophomore out of Napanee, Indiana, Northwood High School. Comes into this one averaging 15.5 points per game on the season. He is a 72% free throw shooter and hits there on the first. We'll get a pair of substitutions here for Grace as number 13 and Justin DeGraff, the senior out of Hudsonville, Michigan, will check on. Number 20 and Hunter Walston will not check on as the free throw was missed there and he was going to take the shooter. And so possession now back to St. Francis. As Fry the second dishes it off now to Northern here on the near side. Look down low to Malone. He goes up, couldn't get it to fall. And head coach Chad Lacrosse fired up. Wanted a foul called underneath and didn't get it. And so it is going to be Grace now with possession. Near side wing three. It's no good there for Stolfus. And now Northern going to look to push. Northern will dish it off up top to Burke. Far side now here to Fry the second. Fry the second off to Malone. He goes up and it's blocked there by Grace. As they'll go the other way here with it. Stolfus leaves it off down low. The spin to Hay. And a nice move there. Ian Rosh with the bucket. Now Northern will have it on the far side here for St. Francis. Northern dishes it off. Now here to Malone. Back here near side. This is Burke. Back to Malone. Free throw line jumper. Got it. Isaiah Malone hits the jumper. Makes it a 5-point lead here for the Cougs. Sefton now with it up top. Skips here to the near side. As Rosh with it. Now back it out and skip here near side into the hands of Scott. Look down low and a foul is going to be called. Jackson Gowdy will come on here for St. Francis as he'll replace number 10 and Luke Almendovar. And Baum will come underneath here from Stolfutz. As Hunter Walston checks on for Grace as well. And the inbound will go here into the hands of DeGraff. Now they'll look down low here for Sefton. Double team brought. Sefton has it knocked away there by Northern, but it falls right into the hands there of Ian Scott for the bucket. Now a 3-point lead here for the Cougs. Gowdy will dish far side. It's Burke with the 3 there for the Cougars. Now Stolfutz will bring it up ahead. They'll skip far side. Now here into the hands of DeGraff. Stolfutz back up top. They'll look down low. And nice move there to keep the ball high, but couldn't get it to fall there. Could DeGraff. The board comes down to Malone. Now Fry the second, going to look to push. He'll move it out. Now here to the near side. We'll get a screen there from Gowdy. Far side now into the hands here of Malone. Malone wears down his defender, has it knocked away, and it falls into the hands here. Gage Sefton. Near side. Northern jumped. Triple team brought. They'll dish off. This is Sefton who goes up and lays it in. And Gage Sefton at his Fort Wayne reunion with 6 points now here for the Lancers. This is Gowdy from deep. Off the back end of the rim, no good. And now the Lancers quickly going to push. Sefton with it on the far side. Up top here to Walston. Now on the near side, this is Stolfutz here with it. This back out. This is Walston from deep. Off the back end of the rim, no good. And Northern comes away with the board here for the Cougars. Up ahead, the lob there to Malone, and Malone is fouled underneath. Foul is going to be called on number 20 and Hunter Walston. It's going to be his first. That's the team's third. Number 21, Carson Rogers will come on here for St. Francis as well. Gage Sefton goes to the bench. Brett Sikafus comes in. And now the officials will come to the scores table here on the near side to put 24 on the shot clock. Luke Almendovar back in as well. He'll inbound here for the Cougars. As Almendovar gets it in. This is Fry, the second with a jumper. It's no good. And the board underneath. And now it's going to be Grace to push it the other way. Gowdy got a touch there on it. So now Fry, the second here with it underneath to Gowdy. He has it knocked away, and he was out of bounds. And possession will go back to the Lancers. 9:53 left to go. Here in our first half, we'll step away. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. .53 left to go here in our first half of action. It'll be the Lancers with the basketball out of the media timeout on the floor. They are down 4 as we'll get an inbound here from Walston. And so Ian Rush, who's back in the game, he'll bring it up ahead here for Grace. This is off. Now on the far side. And Sikafus with it. Rush down low, guarded by Northern, kicks out far side. Oh my goodness, that one's blocked out of bounds there by Almodovar. .9:30 left to go here in our first half. They'll inbound it, skips it here to this near side. A drive down low, going up strong, couldn't get it to fall there, could Walston. And now possession back the other way. Here with St. Francis as Almodovar will have it up top. This is off here near side now to Rogers. Back to Almodovar. He'll drive to the cup, and a foul is going to be called. Foul is going to be on number 20, and Hunter Walston. That'll be his second, team's fourth. And so Almodovar to the line here to shoot. As Almodovar's first is up and it falls. The 6'2 sophomore having a breakout year here for the Cougs. 20 points per game here on the season. Hits there on the second as well and gives St. Francis a 6-point lead. Now Stillfoots will bring it up ahead here for Grace. We'll get it back. Now at the top of the key and move it to the far side. Now up top, here into the hands of Sikafus. Stillfoots now get it off on the far side. He'll get it back here up top. He'll launch a three. And it's up and no good. And the board is knocked down here to the hands of number 20. And Hunter Walston, who goes up and gets the score. And now possession back the other way with St. Francis. Falls into the hands here of Almodovar. He's going to launch a deep three. Oh my goodness. Luke Almodovar showing the range. And now it's Grace here with the basketball. As it's Rush up top. He'll drive on Gowdy. And Gowdy got a piece of the arm, and a foul is going to be called. That'll be his first, team's fifth. So number 12 and Ian Rosh will go to the line here to shoot. First free throw for Rosh. Off the front of the rim, and it rolls home. Substitutions here for both squads as Zane Burke and Isaiah Malone come on. Gage Sefton comes on as well here for Grace. With 8:14 left to go here in our first half. Second free throw is up and good. And so now it'll be Fry the second. And we'll bring it across the half-court line here for St. Francis. Almodovar now on the near side. Oh my goodness, Almodovar took flight but couldn't get it to fall, and Almodovar is going to pick up a technical foul. As Almodovar went up to jam it home, had some words to give to the ref on his way back down the floor, and he picks up a technical foul. I don't know how there wasn't a foul call there. It looked like Almodovar was fouled going up, but either way, we're going to get free throws here, technicals on Luke Almodovar, so this is going to send Brent Sikafus to the line here to shoot a pair. First free throw for Sikafus is up and good. And Sikafus' second is up and good as well. Head coach Chad Lacrosse fired up with the officials on this near sideline. And the officials are just acting like they don't want to hear it from him, as he has given words to all three officials, and they're just completely ignoring him. And so 7:59 left to go. It'll be Grace who will inbound the basketball as Sefton will bring it across the half-court line. Stillfoots now with it here on the near side. This is off. 3 ball on the near side wing. It's no good. There from DeGraff. Offensive board, though, here for Grace. Now the drive to the rim. The dish off and taking flight. That is Justin DeGraff with the bucket. And a 1-point game. Here is 7:30 left. It's Fry the second. Here with it on the near side for St. Francis. Both faithfuls fired up. It's Malone, corner 3, got it, why not? Isaiah Malone, his second triple of the game. Now it's the Lancers, here with it the other way. As Sikafus dishes off up top. Now looking to spin into traffic as Rush. DeGraff leaves it off up top to Sefton. Now back here near side, this is Stillfoots. Now off up top, they'll swing it all the way around. The dish down low, and nicely done there on the score as Justin DeGraff gets the bucket. Back out to a 2-point game. It's Northern here with it near side. Had Rogers cutting with him, otherwise he would have had a wide open lane. And instead they're going to go up top. Now here to Fry the second. Now it's Burke with it on the far side. Up top here to the hands of Malone. Malone looking to dribble through traffic. Now going to try to find a guard, and he'll go up top here to Burke. Shot clock down to 5. Burke with it here near side. This is off, corner 3 here from Fry the second. Beats the buzzer. And a 5-point game, and we get a whistle. Timeout is called here by the Cougars. We'll go ahead and step away. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Inbound here for Grace out of the timeout called by St. Francis. 6:21 left to go. And it is the Lancers with the basketball. They will bring it across the half-court line. Graber with it at the free throw line. Dishes off near side to Sikafus. Now Graber will get it back far side wing. He's going to launch a 3, and he hits it. Graber with the triple, his first points of the game. Makes it a 2-point game with 5:50 left to go here in our first half. Northern will have it up top here for St. Francis. Kamari Hood back in action here for the Cougars. Has spent the last few games out with a hand injury. So good to see him back on the floor here for St. Francis, a tremendous freshman out of Muncie, Indiana Delta High School. As Northern will have it. He's going to fade away jumper. It's no good. And the board comes down now here to Grace. Now the Lancers going to look to push with a little bit of pace. They'll go inside. Sefton up with the score. Tied up at 30 all. 5:15 left to go here in our first. It's Fry the second with it on the far side. Looking to direct traffic here for the Cougs. Now out here to Malone. Malone thought about the 3. Instead, we'll look for somewhere to go with it now, trying to find a guard. He'll hand off into the hands here of Zane Burke. Burke going to look to drive. He goes up, and Zane Burke shows the strength for the score. Graber will leave off up top. Now here into the hands of Scott. And the look inside there for the score. Gage Sefton underneath once again. And Sefton now in double figures with 10. This one's thrown out of bounds. And possession back now to Grace here with 4:31 left. Substitutions here for both squads as Carson Rogers and Luke Almodovar will check on We'll have a timeout on the floor. 4:31 left to go. We are tied up at 32. All you're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzell Athletics Center, 4:31 left to go here in our first half. Tied up at 32 all. Out of our media timeout, it will be the Lancers with the basketball. And so, Grace will inbound on the far side, and they will now have possession. As Sefton with it on the far side wing. This is it off up top. To DeGraff, now on this near side, here into the hands of Graber. Sikafus now far side. Looking to drive down low. The jumper short on the marker there for Graber. Offensive board though, here for the Lancers. Now the drive here through traffic. Going up strong, couldn't get it to fall, and Rogers gets a tip on it and brings it down here for St. Francis. Now Fry the second, gonna look to push. Almendovar now at the top of the key. He'll drive into four defenders, and he is fouled hard. And he'll go to the line now here to shoot a pair for St. Francis. Foul is called on Ian Scott. That's his first, team's fifth. And so Luke Almendovar to the line here to shoot a pair for St. Francis. An 80% free throw shooter here on the year in the sophomore campaign for the Cougars. His first free throw is up and it falls. Ian Rosh comes back on here for Grace. He'll replace number 13 and Justin DeGraff. Luke Almendovar already with 13 points here for St. Francis. And he hits that one there for 14. Northern going to check back on here for St. Francis as he'll replace Almendovar. And it will be Grace with the basketball. Sefton will run the point guard duties now. And his homecoming here to the Summit City. 10 points already on the game. Here for the sophomore out of Blackhawk Christian High School. Three ball is short on the marker there, no good. And out of bounds on the far side, possession will go back here to the Cougars. Luke Almendovar was going to check back in, and he will here for St. Francis. And he'll replace number 21 in Carson Rogers as they're trying to play Almendovar very restrictively as he has 2 fouls on him already here in the game. This one's knocked away, but Burke able to come away with it and maintain possession here with the Cougars. Up top, here to Almendovar. All guards on the floor here for St. Francis along with Isaiah Malone. And we're going to get a whistle off the ball. A foul is going to be called. Graber will pick up the foul. That's going to be his first. That's the team's 6th. And we'll get an inbound underneath here for St. Francis with 3:15 left to go here in our first half of action. Fry the second. Inbounds here for the Cougars. Gets it into Malone. Now Northern, far side now into the hands here of Zane Burke. Fry the second with it. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Fry the second goes up on Sefton and a foul is called. So Gage Sefton picks up the foul. That's going to be his first. and the team's 7th. So Robert Fry, the second, will go to the line here to shoot a pair for St. Francis. Fry, the second, first free throw is up and good. Fry, the second, has been a tremendous player off the bench here so far for St. Francis this year. The senior guard out of Ben Davis High School, Indianapolis, Indiana, averaging 7.5 points per game. And he hits on the second free throw as well and cuts it to a 4-point lead here for the Cougars. Well, 3 minutes left to go here in our first half. They'll give it off here to Sefton with it at the top of the key. Now far side. The look here in the hands of Graber. Graber with it here on the near side now. He'll kick. Oh, Sefton just took it away midair, and he goes up and gets the score. That pass was not intended there for Gage Sefton, but either way, a bucket's going to count, and it's going to make it a 2-point game here with 2:30 left here in our first half. It's Rogers with it here near side. Now Northern up top here to the hands of Zane Burke. Burke will go cross court. Fry the second, now down low. This is Malone. He spins, hangs off glass, and Isaiah Malone gets the score. And Malone now with 14. Sefton with it up top. Moves it here to the near side. Now the look here into the hands of Rosh. And back up top, the 3 ball on the way. It's off the front end of the rim, will not roll home. And now the board comes down here for Malone. Now Northern going to look to push with it at the top of the key. Northern leaves it off. Malone now going to look to go to the rim. Contact, nothing called. And now they're going to call a jump ball here on the floor with 1:43 left to go. Possession arrow will keep it on this end of the floor. And so it'll be an inbound underneath here for Fry the second as he gets it in here to Rogers. Now into the hands of Northern. Burke now with it. He's going to go up strong off glass. Zane Burke gets the score there for the Cougs. Sefton will dish far side. Stillfoots. Now we'll leave it off up top. Scott, the handoff. Stillfoots back to Scott with it far side. Now in the handoff here to Rosh. Rosh skips cross court. This is Burke here near side. The drive from Sefton, and he goes up and gets the score. Engage Sefton now with 14 here for the Lancers. 1 minute now left to go here in our first half of action. It's Northern with it at the top of the key. Look down low there. Burke couldn't get it to go off glass. It's ripped away. Rogers now will go up strong. Couldn't get that to fall, but it rolls off the back end of the rim and rolls home. And now it's the Lancers here with it. Back and forth we go here at the Hutzel Athletic Center. A 6-point lead here for the Cougs. Sefton will leave it off. They'll skip all the way around. Here near side now into the hands here of Scott. Scott with it down low. Couldn't get it to fall. It's Rogers who comes away with it and leaves it off now into the hands here of Fry the second. And the shot clock will be turned off here. There's 20 seconds left to go as Burke had it poked away. And now Fry the second with it on the far side. And coaches here on this near side, we're trying to get the shot clock turned off with 9.9 seconds left to go. And they finally do turn the shot clock off. And so there'll be 9.9 on the board here left to go in our first half. And St. Francis going to have an opportunity to sub as they'll bring on Luke Almodovar. He'll replace number 21. And Carson Rogers, number 24. And Brent Sikafus will come on here for Grace. We'll get an inbound here with 9.9 left. Fry the second, inbounds here to Northern. He'll have it at the top of the key. Moves in here to the near side. Northern now down low here to Malone. 2 seconds. Malone off glass, and he gets the bucket there to beat the first half buzzer. And that's our score here at our halftime break. It is St. Francis 44, Grace 36. We are going to go ahead and step away. We'll come back with some halftime analysis and stats along with looking at some of the matchups going on around the Crossroads League. You're watching St. Francis basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Welcome back in here, everybody, to the Hutzel Athletic Center. Here in a halftime break, it is St. Francis 44 and Grace 36. Let's go ahead and run down the halftime stats here for you from the first half. It was Isaiah Malone who led the way with 16 points. Luke Almendovar with 14. Zane Burke with 7. Robert Fry the second with 5. And Carson Rogers with a 2 for the Cougars. Meanwhile, for the Lancers in his homecoming game, Gage Septon, former native out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, with 14 points. Ian Rosh with 5. Justin DeGraff with 4. Ian Scott and Brent Sickapuse with 4 as well. Bryson Graber with 3. And Hunter Walston with a 2. Taking a look here at the shooting performances of both squads. St. Francis shot 15 of 28, 53.6% from the field. They were 6 of 8 from beyond the arc at a 75%, and 8 of 8 from the charity stripe. Just 3 turnovers for St. Francis. Meanwhile, for Grace, they were 14 of 31 from the field. They were 1 of 12 from beyond the arc at an 8.3%, and 7 of 8 from beyond, 7 of 8 at the free throw line. 1 of 12 from beyond the arc is very, very rare to see for this Grace squad, but their women's squad only made 2-pointers after, I believe it was 27 or 26 attempts there in the contest in the women's game. So Grace just can't seem to get it going from beyond the arc here in either the men's or women's play. The Lancers with 6 turnovers in the first half. St. Francis, as I mentioned, with 3, and the Lancers winning the rebounding battle 17-12. So we are going to go ahead and take another short break, and we will come back with the second half of action. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzel Athletic Center, 44-36 is our score. St. Francis with the lead. Grace will have the basketball here to begin our second half of action. As the Cougars still in their huddle, they're going to break it now, and it will be Grace who will inbound the basketball here across the way to begin our second half. Looks like Bryson Graber going to inbound here to Gage Sefton to begin our second half of action. Once again, we thank you so much for joining us here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. 20 minutes on the board. A big Crossroads League matchup here as we take a look at the standings. Bethel sitting atop at a perfect 7-0. Grace, St. Francis, and Spring Arbor all tied for that second spot at 5-2. So this will be a huge game that will take into factor once the Crossroads League tournament comes around. A 3-ball opportunity is short on the marker. Rebound comes down to Burke. Now Northern will have it here on the near side wing for St. Francis. Rady now far side. Rady sat out a majority of the first half with in foul trouble. And this one goes out of bounds. It's going to be knocked out there by Grayson. So it'll be an inbound underneath here for St. Francis, as Luke Almendovar will go under here to inbound for the Cougars. Gets it in. Now here to Isaiah Malone. Hands it off. Now here to the hands of Almendovar, and I do not believe the clock started. And so we'll get an inbound on the far side here for the Cougars. As Almendovar gets it in now here to Northern with it on the far side. Shot clock down to 10. Northern gets a screen with it at the free throw line. He'll drive on Sefton. Fadeaway shot, and it's up and good there for Brandon Northern, and the Cougs out to their largest lead of the game here with 10. Sefton with it. We'll look down low. Here to the hands of Scott. Scott back out. This is Graber here with it. He'll drive. Kicks out far side. 3 ball on the way. It's up and short of the marker there for Sickabus. And the board comes down now here for the Cougars. As Burke will push it here on the near side for St. Francis. Burke all the way across court. Reedy now with it. Down low. Malone goes up and couldn't get it to fall off the back end of the rim. And the Lancers now the other way. Top of the key, 3 ball on the way, off the front end of the rim, no good. And the board comes down. Now here for St. Francis, Burke now with it here on the near side. We'll get a screen here from Malone. Burke now goes far side there to Northern. Northern now going to look to drive. Had an opportunity to kick it out up top to Malone. It's taken away. Now this is Sefton who takes flight. Oh, and couldn't get it to go. And now possession will go back to St. Francis. Almodovar to Burke. Near side. 3 ball. No good. Off the back end of the rim. Board is knocked away. It's loose. Burke to Malone for the jam. Raise the roof here, folks. The Hutzel Athletic Center just exploded. Burke to Malone for the jamma. And St. Francis out now to a 12-point lead. And so both squads are going to head to their benches. And the officials are going to have a discussion as number 24, Brent Sickabus, caught an elbow from Isaiah Malone. But a 12-point lead here for the Cougs, 17:44 left to go here in our second half. And after the officials' discussion, it's going to just be a normal foul called on Isaiah Malone. That's going to be his first of the game and team's first of the half. As head coach Scott Moore will get an explanation here on the near sideline from the official, and we'll get an inbound here now for the Lancers. As the bucket is good on the far side, it's a 3 there for Brett Sickabus. Cuts it down to a 9-point game. Almodovar will now have it here on the far side for St. Francis. Look inside there to Burke, and right off the hands of him, and out of bounds possession back to Grace. Rosh with it at the free throw line. Kicks here near side to Sefton. Now they'll dish off. Go back up top. That's a look to drive there from Graber. Graber leaves it off. Sickabus now back to Graber here on the near side. Goes all the way across court. This is Sefton here with it on the drive. Double team. It's no good. Burke comes away with the board. Now it's Northern looking to drive up top. Almodovar here now with it for St. Francis. Almodovar going to back it out. Almodovar skips in the corner. Northern 3 ball. Got it. Brandon Northern drains the triple here in the corner on the near side. 12-point lead for the Cougs. Oh, a blocking foul is called on Isaiah Malone. He was literally just standing there straight up with his hands in the air, but a foul is called on him. And that's going to be his team's second of the half. So Scott will go to the line. Here, check it. They're going to call it on the floor. And so it'll be an inbound here for the Lancers. With 16:23 left. Far side. 3 ball on the way. And it's up and good there for Graber. Graber hits the triple, makes it a 9-point game. Reedy The handoff now up top here to the hands of Brandon Northern. Northern with a look far side. He'll get it back now here at the top of the key. Northern, 3 ball. It's up and good there. Back-to-back triples for Brandon Northern. Extends it back out to 12. Trying to throw the lob there inside. Comes down on the deck. Here to Scott. Out to Graber. 3 ball from the top of the key is no good. And the board comes down now to Almodovar. He's going to quickly look to push. Dishes it off here near side. Northern out to Burke. Burke now with it. We'll leave it back up top. Here to the hands of Northern. He'll go far side. Malone is being grabbed down low. Instead, it's Burke. The take to the rim. No good. Malone couldn't get it to fall. Another board underneath, and Reedy's finally fouled. And so Joe Reedy will go to the line here to shoot a pair for St. Francis. Foul is called on Ian Roch. That's going to be his second. Team's first of the half. Reedy's first free throw is up off the front end of the rim and no good. Isaiah Malone will check out. Number 5 and Robert Fry the second will come on and replace him. Number 2, Carter Stolfitz is back on here for the Lancers. As the second free throw for Reedy is off the back end of the rim, no good as well. 15 minutes left to go here in our second half. In the corner, 3 ball there is no good. Board is knocked down. It's going to be out of bounds. They'll call it last touch off of Grace. And possession will go to St. Francis. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor here with 14:54 left. St. Francis with the lead by 12. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzel Athletic Center, 14:55 left to go here in our second half. It's a 12-point lead here for the Cougars over the Lancers. Going to be an inbound here for St. Francis. And Brandon Northern will bring it up ahead here for St. Francis. Gets it across the half-court line. Now here on the near side, this is Burke with it. Goes far side to Almodovar. He's going to launch a 3 from deep. It's no good. Board is tipped out. They're going to call it last touch by Malone. And possession will go back to the Lancers. Burke inbounds here on the near side. Sikafus now with it. Skips off up top. They'll move it here back to the near side for the Lancers. The jumper on the way just inside the arc is up and good there for Ian Scott. Makes it a 10-point game. Northern will now bring it up ahead here for the Cougars. Burke now in the near side here. Robert Fry the second. He's going to pull up. Jumper is up and good. Now the other way, and a foul is going to be called, and I believe this is going to be the third on Malone. 3 straight fouls on the Cougars, and 3 straight fouls on Malone. All 3 fouls here this half are on him. And Scott will go to the line here to shoot a pair for Grace. Scott, first free throw, off the front end of the rim and no good. Substitution here for Grace, number 20, and Hunter Walston will check on here for the Lancers. Joe Reedy will come on. He'll replace Isaiah Malone with the 3 fouls. Second free throw is up and good. It'll be Northern who will bring it across the half-court line here for the Cougars. Almodovar now up top here to Fry the second. Northern now down low here to Reedy. Reedy, look at a drive, strong. He'll dish out. Now Fry the second with it. He'll go inside. It's blocked. And now it'll be the Lancers who will go the other way here with it. They'll go far side. The drive to the rim. Skip out. Here near side. A 3-ball on the way. It's up and no good. And the board comes loose. And Grace able to pull it down. Scott. This is out here near side. Stolfutz with the triple. It's no good. Out in the hands now of Sefton. Back out top of the key. That 3 is partially blocked. And it's St. Francis who comes away with it. Northern now going to look to push. He'll have it. Get a screen there from Reedy. Northern now with it on the far side. This is out. Now Fry the second. Back to Northern here near side wing. Northern now going to look to drive to the rim. He goes baseline. Dishes it off. Almodovar now with it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Step back 3. Almodovar off the front of the rim. No good. And the board comes down now here for the Lancers. Sefton down with it. Up top. Here into the hands of Scott. Now here near side. The drive. Dish off down low. Scott had it knocked away. And now it's going to be Northern who comes away with it. He'll move up the floor. Almodovar on the deck. He goes up and a foul is called. Foul is called on Justin DeGraff. That's his first. Team second of the half. Here at 12:15 left to go. Almodovar at the line. His first free throw. Off the back end of the rim and no good. For 12, Ian Rosh comes on here for Grace. Second one for Almodovar is up and good. On the deck and knocked away, and a foul is called. Foul is going to be on Reedy. That's going to be his third. Team's fourth. So Reedy and Malone, both the bigs for St. Francis with 3 fouls each. First free throw is up and good. Second free throw is up and good. Makes it a 10-point game. As Almodovar will bring it up the floor here for St. Francis. Burke now with it on the far side. Almodovar looking to make a move. Skips in the corner. Fry the second from deep. It's no good. And the board comes down now here for the Lancers. They'll go the other way here with it. Around Northern and nicely done there. The bucket is good for Ian Rosh. 8-point game. As Northern will have it at the top of the key. Looking to drive inside here on his defender. Northern to the cup. Nice take. He goes up and gets the score. Look down low. DeGraff with it. That's out of bounds. Good call there by the official. As that was on the line, Brandon Northern was trying to signal. Foul out of bounds should be called, and he gets it. As we'll get a substitution here for the Cougars. Isaiah Malone comes on and he replaces Joe Reedy. Those two are going to have to go back and forth here on and off the bench, both with 3 fouls each. One of them has to stay out of foul trouble if the Cougs want to hang around and keep this lead. As that has been a big presence to their scoring here tonight, along with Luke Almendovar on the outside, who is getting to the rim as well. Now this is Malone, far side, Fry the second. He'll now go to the rack. He goes up. Couldn't get it to fall off glass. And the Lancers now the other way. Sefton with a drive to the cup. And a foul is called. Sefton just slipped up. Not 100% sure about that one, as it looked like Sefton just lost his footing. Looked like he just lost his footing and tried to go up with it, and they called a foul. And so that's on Almendovar. That's going to be his third. That's the team's fifth. Gage Sefton, a familiar face here in the 2-6-0, will go to the line here to shoot a pair. Gage Sefton in his sophomore season, as he makes that free throw there. Comes into this one averaging 14 points per game here on the year. 75% free throw shooter is the sophomore, as I mentioned, out of Blackhawk Christian High School. And he'll now go to the bench as he checks out with 16. And it's going to be St. Francis with the basketball, as Grace on a little bit of a run here. 8-point game. Northern will bring it up ahead here for St. Francis. Gets a screen there from Burke. Now we'll get a screen from Malone. They'll lob it to Malone, and it's tipped away there by Scott. And now it'll be Stolfitz who brings it up the floor. They'll skip back in the corner here to the hands of Rosh. Rosh now leaves it off. Walston here with it on the near side wing. Rosh will look inside. It's a nice find there with it. They'll skip out up top. This is Walston from deep, and he gets the three to fall. Makes it a 5-point game. And the Grace faithful fired up here on the near side, just below us here at the hut. It's Northern with it here for St. Francis. We'll see if the Cougars can try to quiet the Grace crowd a little bit, as Burke to the rack, and he goes up and gets the score and gets the St. Francis faithful on their feet. Scott goes far side. Rosh now we'll leave it off. We'll look inside. This is DeGraff here with it. Trying to go up. Dishes it off. Nicely done on the find there to the rack. And Ian Scott gets the bucket. 8:55 now left to go here in our second half. It's Northern with it at the top of the key. Burke now far side. They'll go into the hands here for the second. He'll find Burke cutting to the rim. Burke is blocked there, out of bounds by Walston. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor here. 8:44 left to go. It is St. Francis 61, Grace 56. A huge Crossroads League matchup. Stay with us. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzel Athletic Center, 61-56 our score. On the media timeout, 8:44 left to go. Once again, this is a huge matchup in the Crossroads League as we take a look at the standings. Bethel sits atop at a perfect 7-0. Grace, St. Francis, and Spring Arbor all tied at 5-2. So whoever wins this contest could be alone in the second place spot. We'll have to see what Spring Arbor does tonight as they are taking on Bethel. But it's Almodovar in the corner. He launches a three. It's no good. And now it's going to be Grace who will go the other way here with it. And Stolfutz will have it here at the line. Dishes off on this near side. Look to drive. And Rosh dishes it back up top. Stolfutz with the long three. It's no good. Malone comes away with the board. Northern will now bring it up ahead. Taking a look around the Crossroads League, it's Marion at MVNU. Goshen at receiving votes. Indiana Wesleyan Taylor at number 18 ranked Huntington. And then, as I mentioned, Spring Arbor at number 10 Bethel. It's on the far side here to the hands of Scott. Now with it down low, this is DeGraff. Back out to Scott. He'll launch a three, top of the key. It's no good. A sky-high rebound there for Ian Rosh. And he goes up and gets the bucket and makes it a one-possession game here with 7:30 left. As Northern will have it. This is off now on this near side. This is Fry the second. Now to Burke. Burke will move it here to the near side. Now off to Northern. He'll set a screen. Instead, Northern going to look to drive his defender to the baseline. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Northern with the fadeaway shot, and he gets it to fall before the buzzer expires. Turnaround jumper. It's on the way, and it's up and good once again for Ian Rosh. Back out to a three-point game, and Rosh now with 11. Northern off into the hands now here of Zane Burke. Burke to the cup. Off glass, no good. Board is loose underneath, and Grace trying to keep it in bounce there down low, and it goes out. And so possession will stay on this end of the floor here with St. Francis. Sefton comes back in here for Grace. Number 22, Bryson Graber on as well. Joe Reedy will come back in here for St. Francis as he'll replace number 10 and Luke Almodovar. And Bound will come underneath here from Malone. Now down low here to him. Malone goes up, couldn't get it to fall. And the board comes down now here for the Lancers. Graff leaves it off. Now Scott with the drive. Kicks out on the far side. Here to the hands of Bryson Graber. Sefton with it. All the way across court. Three ball on the way. It's short once again on the marker there for Scott. And the board comes down now into the hands of Isaiah Malone. And they're going to call a foul here on Grace. Foul is going to be on number 12. And Ian Rosh. It's going to be his third. Team's third of the half. And so Northern will bring it up ahead here for St. Francis. With it here on the near side. Now off into the hands here of Reedy. Reedy leaves it off to Burke. Now back to Northern here near side wing. Northern going to look to go baseline. Double team brought. Now off to Malone. Malone on the triple team trying to leave it there to Reedy. And it was taken away. And now it's going to be the Lancers the other way. Sefton, far side up top. Three ball on the way. It's short on the marker. Northern came away with it. And a foul is called. And the Grace Lancers faithful not too pleased about the call here on the near side as Ian Scott picks up his second foul. And Luke Almodovar and Robert Fry the second check on here for St. Francis with 5:35 left. Reedy, top of the key. Now handoff here to Northern. Northern far side. Burke with it. And Sefton called for the foul. And that's the team's fifth. And we'll get an inbound underneath now here for the Cougars, as Almodovar will go underneath here with 5:19 left to go. He gets it in all the way back here to Brandon Northern. And Northern will bring it up the floor here for St. Francis across the half-court line. And Northern going to launch a three. It's no good, and the board comes down now here for the Lancers. Rosh with it. Looking to drive to the cup. Gets it off, and the bucket is good there for Ian Scott. The St. Francis faithful now not too pleased, as they wanted a travel call and didn't get it. And so now Northern will bring it up ahead here with 4:50 left. And the Grace faithful is fired up here on the near side, and a blocking foul is called. They're on Bryson Graber. That's going to be his second. And we're going to get a timeout called on the floor. We'll go ahead and step away shortly. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzel Athletic Center, 4:43 left to go. Here in our second half of action, it's a 1-point lead here for the Cougars of St. Francis. Inbound will come here from Malone on the near sideline for the Cougars. Inbound right in front of the St. Francis bench. Once again, we thank you, those of you tuning in here at the Hutzel Athletic Center. Live look here for you as the St. Francis women's squad, ranked number 10 in NAIA, picked up a 30-point win over the Lancers early on this evening, and they improved to 17-1 on the season. And so we'll get an inbound here from Malone on this near side. Northern now far side into the hands here of Joe Reedy. Reedy off to Almodovar with it at the top of the key. He'll launch a three from deep. It rolls in and out. They're on him. And the board comes down to Rosh. Graber now will leave it off up top into the hands here of Scott. Sefton now with it. He'll launch a three. Top of the key. And Gage Sefton gives Grace the 2-point lead. And Sefton with 19 now here for the Lancers. Northern will now move it here for the Cougars. Goes far side. Almodovar now with it. Look down low here to Malone. Malone battling with Scott. Malone off glass. It's no good. Board is tipped up into the hands now here of Malone. He'll go up on the double team. No good. Off the back end of the rim. And now possession will go back to Grace, as Grace had 4 players defensively down low for the rebound. St. Francis with nobody, and a timeout is going to be called here by Grace. It'll be a 30-second one. We will go ahead and step away. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzel Athletic Center. Excuse me, as we are counting down here, 3:43 left to go in our second half. We'll get an inbound here far side for the Lancers out of the timeout called by sixth-year head coach and Scott Moore. And so the Lancers will have it on the far side. Scott, far side. Graber launches a three. Got it. And Graber gives Grace the 5-point lead here with 3:27 left to go here in our second half. Northern now here with it. It's Burke in the corner. Three ball on the way. It's no good. Board is tipped out. That's going to be last touch by Grace. And we'll stay on this end of the floor here with St. Francis. Reedy with the drive. Off the rim, it's no good. And board comes down, and now it's going to be taken away here by the Lancers. As Graber will have it. Sefton, Scott. Now Graber with it on the far side wing. Rosh now looking to drive here on Almodovar. Rosh with it on the double team, no good. Board is tipped up, and Malone comes down with it here for St. Francis. 2:40 now left to go here in our second half. Burke with it here on the near side. Looking for somewhere to go. We'll leave it off here now to Almodovar. Almodovar will look to drive here on Sefton. Out now Reedy trying to get it down low, and it's tipped out of bounds there by Grace. And possession will stay on this end of the floor here with the Cougars, as they will inbound underneath here from Almodovar with 13 on the shot clock. Almodovar gets it in here to Malone. Malone drives in on his defender, and he goes up and gets the score. 3-point game. 2:20 now left to go. It's Sefton here near side. Up top to Scott. Look down low. Up strong. Rosh couldn't get it. Instead tipped it out. Now here's Sefton. Back to Rosh. Here near side. Guarded by Reedy. We'll go back now. Far side into the hands here of Graber. Shot clock down to 7. Graber with it. Launches a three. With a hand in his face. Couldn't get it to fall. Now Northern going to look to push. Almodovar. Oh, it's ripped away there by Graber. A nice defensive play, and a timeout is going to be called here by the Lancers. A smart move there by head coach Scott Moore, and a rip away there from Graber. And we will step away here with 1:43 left to go here in our second half. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzel Athletic Center, 1:45 left to go here in our second half of action. It's going to be an inbound here for Grace, right in front of the scores table here below us, as Graber will bring it up ahead. Guarded here by Almodovar. Now Rosh going to look to go baseline here with it. Goes up, couldn't get it to fall, and Reedy comes down with the board. Now it's Northern going to look to push with it on the far side wing here for the Cougars, and a timeout is going to be called here by head coach Chad Lacrosse and St. Francis. We'll go ahead and step away. You're watching St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network. Back here live from the Hutzel Athletic Center, 1:27 left to go here in our second half. It's St. Francis with the basketball. A 3-point lead for Grace, and the Cougars will inbound right in front of their bench here on the near side. St. Francis with 2 timeouts remaining. Meanwhile, Grace with just the 1. This matchup will mean a lot here coming later on in the season for the Crossroads League tournament, as both these squads played outstanding here in Crossroads League play, both sitting at 5-2. Malone now to Almodovar. Here with it, Almodovar to the cup. Couldn't get it to fall. Didn't get a foul call like he wanted, and now possession back the other way here with Grace. It's on this near side. Rosh leaves it off now to Scott. Far side, this is Sefton. Sefton back to Scott. Had it poked away there by Malone. Now on this near side. And Rosh is fouled. My apologies, folks. It did not start the clock here, but 57 seconds left to go here in our second half. It'll be an inbound underneath here for Grace. As I mentioned, the Lancers with 1 timeout left. Meanwhile, St. Francis with 2. And so the official's going to have some words with Scott and Malone on the inbound there, and that one's up and good there for the Lancers. They make it a 5-point game as Northern will bring it up ahead here for St. Francis. With it on the far side, he'll dish off. Burke near side 3. It's no good. Rolls in and out, and now the Lancers come away with it, and they'll have possession. Here's Stolfutz with it at the top of the key, and he is fouled. 36 seconds left to go. And this is going to send Carter Stolfutz to the line here to shoot a pair. 6-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. And so Stolfutz has an opportunity to make this a 3-possession game as he hits there on the first free throw. Makes it 71-65. If he can make this free throw here, not saying it would seal it, but it could pretty much do so. As Reedy inbounds here now to Northern. Northern will bring it up ahead. He'll drive to the cup. Northern couldn't get it to fall. And now the Lancers come away here with it. Stolfutz will take it to the far side. Had it poked from behind. Now up ahead there to Sefton. And now 20 seconds here on the clock. Sefton leaves it off down low and going to dribble it out to the far side. Will Walston. And looks like the Lancers are going to improve to 14-4 on the season and 6-2 in conference play. And they win here by a final score of 72-65. So the Lancers improved to 14-4 in regular season action, 6-2 in conference play. Meanwhile, for St. Francis, they will fall to 12-6 and 5-3 in conference play. Let's go ahead and run down the final stats here for you from the Hutzel Athletic Center. For St. Francis, it was Isaiah Malone who finished the game with 20 points. Luke Almodovar with 15. Brandon Norton with 12. Zane Burke with 9. Robert Fry II with 7. And Carson Rogers with 2. Meanwhile, for Grace, it was Gage Sefton in his homecoming game. Finished tonight with 19. Ian Rosh with 13. Ian Scott with 11. Bryson Graber with 9. Hunter Walston and Brent Sycophus with 7 each. Justin DeGraff with 4. And Carter Stolfutz with a 2. For St. Francis, their next matchup will take place on Saturday at Spring Arbor. They will play in the first contest at 1 p.m., followed by the women's contest at 3 p.m. And the Lancers improve to 15-4 on the season and 7-2 in a conference play. What a win for Grace, the number 14 team in the land. They pick up a huge one and will matter in the long run in the conference standings. So we're going to go ahead and sign off here from the Hutzel Athletic Center till our next doubleheader on January 29th against Goshen. We thank you so much for joining us here for St. Francis Cougars basketball here on the St. Francis Cougars Network.